Good morning. Welcome to Headlines in Bed. Today is Thursday, February. No, today is Friday, February 5th, 2021. Yeah, this week went by really quickly. Um, but we're here now. So grab a cup of yogurt, tea, coffee, make yourself comfortable, and let's get started. Today we'll go over to Politico. Um, how Kevin McCarthy fought off a party revolt by hiding, right? By releasing his responsibility to the Democrats, so that the entire House would vote on Marjorie, Representative Marjorie. But let's see. Let's see. The GOP House leader faced a brutal political dilemma this week, yet emerged stronger at the end. I'm not sure about that. Technology, a kiss of death. Top GOP tech critics are a persona non grata after election challenge. Impeachment. Trump's allies fear the impeachment trial could be a PR nightmare. More top headlines. Magazine, the Friday cover. Environmental groups' greatest obstacle may not be Republican opposition. That looks more like a fashion shoot. I don't know what it has to do with environmentalism. Congress, House strips Marjorie Taylor Greene of her committee posts. Trade, America's trade gap soared under Trump's final figures show. Yeah, the art of the deal. President. Foreign policy, how to charm a U.S. president. We're going to skip the sponsor content as we always do. Q&A, it's time to talk about violent Christian extremism. There's a strong authoritarian streak that runs through the parts of American evangelism, warns Elizabeth Newman. What should be done about it? What should be done about it? Justice reform. A GOP governor and Black Lives Matter activists agree on restoring voting rights to felons. Will it last? Iowa's Kim Reynolds made tens of thousands of released felons eligible to vote in 2020, but the move could be reversed, and advocates say it doesn't go far enough. The secret altitude, the secret loss of moderate Democrats. Fiscal discipline has gone from being a virtue to a sin. Let's come back up to the stimulus. Senate approves budget to sideline GOP on Biden's 1.9 trillion stimulus. The spending plan includes 1,400 stimulus checks, boosted unemployment benefits, and hiking the minimum wage to $15 an hour, on top of hundreds of billions of dollars in other aid. Avalanche of long-term unemployment effects could crush Biden's recovery hopes. The worsening situation threatens to drag on the economy recovery even after the pandemic begins to subside. U.S. employers add just 49,000 jobs, 49,000 jobs as unemployment falls to 6.3. Playbook, Larry Summers plays the skunk at the COVID relief party. Big Trump donors converge on Newsom recall. The campaign to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom is gaining money and momentum in state and beyond, with more GOP donors jumping aboard. Really? Is that really going to happen? Is that money well spent? I guess what do you call it in the stock market? It's I forgot the term, but it's an opportunistic venture. Quick pops. Mike Pence starting a podcast. Playbook playback. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Mike Lindell, and GOP stimulus. QAnon shaman. Shaman. Charge and Capitol riot. Charge changes jails due to food. Politics isn't about the weird worship of one dude. Sasay shoots down Nebraska censure motion. Schumer, White House is at odds of how to cancel student loan debt. Since when did student debt become a liability? Students should be educated, parents should be educating them, they should be educating themselves on the realities of taking on loans. My loan was not forgiven. I had to pay it up in full, as is my other liabilities. I I think this is doing more damage to future our generations that will lead this country than good. Transition playbook. What is a phone call with Biden worth? You have nothing for me. You have nothing for me. Trump ditches SAG amid disciplinary moves. Senate panel advances fudge rouse for roles leading HUD and CEA. Poll 50% support convicting Trump in impeachment trial. And with that, we'll thank Politico and go over to ProPublica. And ProPublica tells us today that we have counties in deep trouble. Oregon lawmakers seek to reverse timber tax cuts that cost communities billions. For decades, corporate timber benefited from tax cuts that devastated local budgets. Lawmakers want change and have filed dozens of bills, making this one of Oregon's most consequential sessions for forest policy. The effort to overturn the election, reporting on the mob that attacked the breach and breached the Capitol, the fallout from that day, and ongoing far-right violence. After hundreds of meatpacking workers died from COVID-19, Congress wants answers. A key House subcommittee cited reports by ProPublica and other news outlets and launching an investigation into how the country's meatpacking companies handled the pandemic, which has killed hundreds of workers to date. The return of the regulators, with a photo of Biden, I'm not sure what that means. Seeing the Pentagon Papers in a new light. Feature reporting. The U.S. spent $2.2 million on a cybersecurity system that wasn't implemented and might have stopped a major hack. New York City Council proposes sweeping NYPD reforms. The Boogaloo Boys have guns, criminal records, and military training. Now they want to overthrow the government. ProPublica is seeking new applicants for its local reporting network. We're looking to work with 3 more newsrooms for a year beginning in April 2021 on an accountability journalism projects. If you're looking for a journalism job, contact ProPublica. That's just a public service announcement on my part. Rich investors strip millions from a hospital chain and want to leave it behind. A tiny state stands in their way. Private equity firm Leonard Green and other investors extracted $645 million from Prospect Medical before announcing a deal to sell it and leave it with $1.3 billion in financial obligations. 4 states approved it, but Rhode Island is holding out. Contractor who was awarded $34.5 million in government money and provided 0 masks pleads guilty to fraud. The VA and FEMA agreed to pay a first-time vendor in a desperate search for protective equipment. Now Robert Stewart admits he defrauded 3 federal agencies and lied about being in the Marine Corps. Yes, sir. Mauricio Rodriguez Pons joins Republic. What is it? All of these announcements about who's joining Propublica, I mean, I think is nice and quaint, but that's not news. Propublica hires Jenny Dean to cover healthcare. Put it in your corporate side. That's not news. Susan Carroll hired as a senior editor for Propublica's local reporting network. I mean, good for all of these people, but that's not news. Relevant to other than those folks in their network. Put it on LinkedIn. Sexual misconduct. You know what? We're gonna leave it at that. Propublica is not what I thought it would be. We thank Propublica, but we're gonna move over to. Let's move over to. Just gonna do New York Times. Something a little. What comes with Propublica? So, New York Times. Also interesting, the New York Times also doesn't anchor their message. Biden expected to use Tibet job reports to push his stimulus plan. Market updates, the U.S. economy added 49,000 jobs in January, a weak showing after a virus surge. Senate debates Biden's $1.9 trillion aid plan. Harris cast deciding vote. Vice President Harris cast a deciding vote on a session that included a dismissal of President Biden's plan to increase the federal minimum wage. I'm a little confused because the whole week there's been the conversation about compromise and meetings with Republicans, and all of a sudden the Senate voted, or they voted on a procedural. They cast a procedural vote to move the actual voting alone. This is confusing. Senate advances Biden's $1.9 trillion aid plan. Okay, so advances is the key word, not approves. Model intelligence hamper response to Capitol riot. New details about what authorities anticipated on January 6th highlight failures to grasp the degree of threat from pro-Trump right-wing extremists. Green blasts Morons who stripped her of committee posts. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene lashes out at Democrats in her first comments after the House voted to strip her of her committee assignments. I guess these two will become words of the past that don't represent her, as she claimed was the case when she spoke on the floor of the House yesterday. Opinion. Charlie Walls and Stuart A. Thompson. They stormed the Capitol. Their apps tracked them. We're able to identify individuals from a trove of leaked smartphone location data. Yep. The China and Russia vaccines work. Why don't we use them? Asked Ashal Pravala and Chi Yok-ping. Pumps and dumps and chumps. Paul Krugman. Marjorie Taylor Greene knows exactly what she's doing. One would hope, right? Because even if people are idiots, even if people are not well informed, they should know what they're doing. And I think she does. The first step is admitting you have a problem. A plan to keep extremists out of the GOP, the exponential power of a $15 wage floor, and a poll Republican considers the future of the GOP. Yeah, I want to know who that is. Who has the right to call themselves a poll? Mitt Romney? Yes. Party of personal responsibility declines to hold personal responsible. Biden is right to go big. Myanmar needs a new kind of democracy. A 70s photo foreshadowed a world-class figure skater's future. AstraZeneca vaccine is found to protect against more contagious variant. Israel's vaccination results points a way out of the pandemic. In geopolitical struggle over Myanmar, China has an edge. 3 American mothers on the brink. 11 months, multiple breakdowns, one harrowing realization they've got to get back up and do it all again tomorrow. Yeah. A large walk-in closet. Oh my God, what a nightmare. I wonder what a mother with 3 children, 1 bedroom, no walk-in closet must be feeling like. It's all relative, right? So I don't diminish her pain. I'm just drawing a comparison. And oh, free Britney. I think she should free herself first of that fake hair, of the people that she's surrounded herself that are not good for her. Um, and goats don't vote. While some animals that rove in groups appear to cast a formal ballot about direction, goats mostly copy each other. Well, and on that note, thank you for joining me today. That is Headlines in Bed for Friday, February 5th. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Relax. See you on Monday.